You know, we're in the same party. We know ourselves. They're both working for Ken, and it's quite exciting to see Kobe, you know, appearing and aware of these work and posing questions to a researcher from their team. And I believe that, you know, it is something that they, you know, did together and put it out there.
Now, you think this research was done internally by Ken Agyapong?
Evans works with Ken. He supports Ken.
Oh.
And I thought he was going to be part of the discussion, actually, that I'll put these to him. You know, he supports Ken. He runs a platform, and I've shared, you know, some with you. He runs a platform for Ken. You know, these things are put in there and discussed. In fact, even this show, as you saw, you know, was put on the platform, and the people there were encouraged, you know, to listen to this presentation and all that. But that is not a basis for, you know, critiquing the findings. I mean, you can work for Ken and still do a good job as far as the data is concerned, and it will be thoroughly assessed. But there's a problem with these findings. One is because the numbers, you know, suggest an internal contradiction in the outcomes of the data. So, for instance, if you look at the regional level analysis in page 13 and 14 of the report, I'm sure he has a copy here and he can cross-check that.
And guys, maybe you can try and put that on the screen for us. The regional analysis,
page 13
and 14
of the report. And you do the summation of all the 16 regions, you would find, in the best case scenario, a total of 204,000 plus delegates, suggesting 100% participation. And then if you do the worst case scenario also, of all the regions, you would arrive at the same figure, 204,000. Mind you, the sample size, you know, in the abstract is 26,000, and he does what he calls extrapolation to the general, you know, voter population of 204,000. So in the regional breakdown, in the worst case scenario and the best case scenario.
Yeah, so guys, we can go to the regional breakdown.
So that's page 13.
I think that's it, right?
Page 13 and 14.
Yeah. So that's the, okay. So this is the percentage. Let's go to the numbers.
To the numbers.
Let's go to the numbers, the actual votes. So let's go up a bit. Okay, so this is the best case scenario.
Yes.
So you want to deal with this first?
So at the regional level, what I'm interested in is, so if you see the number of delegates here, you've seen it, 204,893.
Yeah.
So it is the same, and this for the best case, as you can see it over.
Yeah, best case scenario.
So it is the same for the worst case scenario.
All right, so worst case, let's go up. You see that? Let's go up to the worst case scenario. Thank you. So that's it, 204,000.
204,893, suggesting 100% participation. So you look at the regional data, and you have 100% participation, which is correct. Now you come to the national level results on page 8.
National level, so we can go up, further up, and we'll see the national level results. And, okay, great. So let's go further up. That data is going to come up very shortly. Last one. Great, here.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's the best case scenario?
So at the national level, in the best case vote, you saw 204,893, same as the regional for best and for worst, suggesting that in the case of best case votes, you had 100% participation. Now, if you come to the worst case nationally, then you have 192,506 votes.
Yeah.
And as indicated here, suggesting 94% participation.
Yeah.
But he footnoted here at the national level.
The remainder account for undecided.
The remainder accounts for 6%.
Yeah.
But when you analyze the original numbers, for both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, you had 100% participation. And the national level results is a product of the regional level. Because for this to hold true at the national level, there must have been an indication at the regional level that for some specific regions, these 6% did not participate in the polling.
So you're suggesting that this very note here, this very exception at the national level should have reflected in the regional level.
At the regional level, because you cannot have 100% participation for both the best case scenario and the worst case scenario at the regional level. And when it comes to the national level, you have variations in the participation. But there's an explanation to this. Okay. Now, if you take these 6%, for instance, and the data says that they had a sample size of 26,000 plus, and 19,000 responded to the poll. And out of these, 6% did not respond. The 6% out of the 19,000 represents a little above 1,000 people. Now, if you do the extrapolation that he did, vis-a-vis the 204,000 plus delegates, you are going to have a total of 12,000 plus people who did not respond to the poll.
Interesting. Let's just go up so we see that data. Let's go up to the data. If you can go up, I think it should be the first three slides.
It's in the abstract.
Yeah, so guys, if you can move up very quickly for me. Thank you very much. The sample size bit there and the number, I think we've gone, somewhere here, I believe. Okay, great, this is it. Just come down for me. Come down a bit more for me, guys. Thank you very much. So, great. Let's capture this. So this is what you're referring to, isn't it?
Exactly. So the non-response.
So non-response, 6,282.
But you don't use the 6,000 as against the sample size of 26,000. Because not all the 26,000 responded. So according to his own data, only 19,000 plus responded. So the 6% of the 19,000 gives you a little above 1,000. Now, because he does extrapolation with the total number of registered delegates of 204,893, an extrapolation of that 6% would give you a total of 12,000 plus. Okay, but this is where it gets interesting. Now, if you look at the best case scenario of Ken,
all right. Guys, let's go back to the best case scenario nationally.
Nationally, he gets 110,000 plus. Okay, and his worst case scenario, he gets, I think 90-something thousand plus. But even if you were to add all the undecided, okay, if you were to assume that all the 12,000 plus delegates who are undecided would all vote for Ken, okay, that is a wrong assumption to make because it's not possible for all the 12,000 plus to vote for Ken. But even if you were to assume that all of them would vote for Ken, Ken's best scenario number would have been 102,000 and not 110,000. So clearly, you see a certain attempt to engage in galamsey with the data to create a desired...
So, guys, take me to the national level. You go up for me, and we'll see the point Akbar is making there. Thank you very much.
So that's on page 8. At the national level is on page 8.
So that's it. Over here. Great. So that's the national level. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you notice that the best case scenario of Ken.
Yeah, 110,000.
110,000. His worst case scenario, 90,306. Now, if you relate it to the 6% that he says were undisclosed, okay, vis-a-vis the total number of 204,000, his actual best case votes should have been 102,000 and not 110,000. So there's an addition of an excess vote of about 8,000. And that is why I said that you would notice an attempt to do galamsey with the data in order to create a desired outcome for a candidate that he supports. But you see, the other fundamental point is in respect of the national vote, where if you do a summation of the worst case scenario, you had 94%. But those who do research will tell you that the participation of the respondents must be 100%. The 100% include those who are undecided or those who have refused to disclose their voting. You cannot subtract it from the totality of the number to have 94%. And that is why he's using two distinct figures. So you come to the best case scenario, he has 100%. You come to the worst case scenario, he has 94%. That, according to many statistics, those who do statistics, cannot be the case for any research because it has to be 100%. The percentages for various individuals can differ, but the totality has to be 100%. You cannot have a situation where you have 94% because you decided to remove 6% of undecided voters. Undecided voters are part of the total number of the respondents.
But beyond all these concerns, I mean, beyond all the concerns you have about the data, etc., is there anything that you find as a lesson from this?
No, of course. I mean, you see, even though this data has been cooked in the propaganda kitchen of Ken and the aroma is quite messy, but there's always some good, even in the worst of things, all right? And so I'm not one of those people who would say that, well, because, you know, the data lacks internal consistency, because the numbers violate statistical rules, as in the case of using 94% for worst case scenario and 100% for best case scenario, as in the case of saying that I'm sure you would have also seen the case of mislabeling, and the mislabeling came about as a result of the nature of the modeling. So you have Dr. Bawumia's worst case scenario, okay, be better than his best case scenario. So from his worst case scenario to his best case scenario, he lost a total of 15,000 votes, whilst every other candidate has seen an increase from their worst case votes to their best case votes.
But he explains that. He explains that that happens because in the best case scenario where all other candidates are gaining, he says the likes of Dr. Brandon Champon, Dr. Aide,
that happened because he decided.
He says that all of them are taken from Dr.
No, they are not taken. He decided, based on his modeling, to add all undecided voters and undisclosed voters, the 6% to Kennedy Agyapong. That is what altered it. It is not because they are taken from Dr. Bawumia. It is because he has assumed that all the undisclosed voters, in excess of 12,000 people, are going to vote for Ken. That is what affected it. But notwithstanding all of that, as I said, there's always some good even in the worst of situations. And therefore, of course, as a campaign, we would look at it. The few good things that we find in it, we will take them. We will try to fashion out a strategy. I mean, even
because
if
he talks about messaging, he talks about personality, he talks about the people around you, and he says that based on the interactions he's had with these individuals, those are the things they reference.
Well, but he has not told us about the other aspirants, even though we have seen that there has been an improvement for all the aspirants from their worst case votes to their best case votes. All what I'm saying is that, you know, this has been done by Kennedy Agyapong and his team because they are not comfortable with the series of surveys out there projecting that Dr. Bawumia would win. But as a campaign,
let me bring COVID
the most important strength for any successful politician is your ability to receive feedback and to work to improve on whatever that you're doing. So even though we find a lot of inconsistencies in the data, we find a lot of contradictions in the data, we would still take it on board as a feedback, help, you know, with our strategy as we move around the country.